Some double day of action to lead off your breakfast edition of the Festival of the Arts. Dave Morris along my side, my colleague from the Oklahoman, the food editor, Dave Cathey. And good morning, Dave.
Good morning. Beautiful, beautiful day, just like we ordered up.
Exactly like we ordered up, and of course that'll be the theme with this gentleman that we will chat about over the next 10-15 minutes. Food, it is among the arts, the culinary arts, if you will, of the Festival of the Arts, and a lot of people come here just for the food. I'll say this much, we have the opening ceremonies will kick off at the top of the hour around 11 a.m. right behind us on the main stage. In the meantime, this guy, I believe he called himself Sam, is killing it up there with the cello or the viola. I think it may be a cello.
You would know better than I, but yeah, a little Seven Nation Army before that. Yeah, doing really, really well. Working up a good appetite with it. Yeah.
It's good stuff. All right. It's like we're naming all the hits behind us now.
I feel like we're at a wedding now. It's a reception time, folks.
Dave Cathey always has a column that comes out every Wednesday in the Oklahoman, and I'm guessing that perhaps on the front page of tomorrow, what we're looking at right here, the food scene of the Festival of the Arts.
Exactly right. We will have a rundown of what's new out here to eat at the festival, not to mention the culinary demonstration tent. We've got a full schedule of chefs from all around the city that will be showing folks how to make some of their signature dishes from local restaurants. So it should be a lot of fun.
I should mention that you can find complete information on our website, newsok.com, stories, videos, lots of photos. Steve Cisney in his safari hat and a couple cameras is right off camera right now, looking around for the perfect shot. You can find more information at artscouncilokc.com, parking information, schedules of the entire event. It runs through Sunday here at Bicentennial Park, City Hall, Civic Center Music Hall, right in between that. Now, that said, from the food scene, who is here this year?
Oh man, as usual, we have a lot of the usual suspects. Strawberries Newport is here, as they always are. The CNC tacos are always here. We got Eddie's from Edmond. Eddie's Grill from Edmond is new this year. He opened, I think, a couple of years ago.
I don't know much about Eddie's. What's Eddie's?
Yeah, he's across from UCO. He's a family restaurant, burgers, grilled chicken sandwiches, so forth. But yeah, first time out here. I'm looking forward to seeing him. We've got Anna from Cafe de Brazil. She always has great stuff. Can't wait to see what she's got going. Something called, Dough MG. Yeah, something modern. Obviously not one that's been around for a long time. So, yeah, I don't think they busted that one out in the 60s. But, yeah, so looking forward to seeing what they've got, too. So plenty to choose from. There's a wine tent over here, conveniently located near the culinary tent, which is great. The chefs who are coming out this year will have a place to hide or prepare.
That's right. Get their minds and their palates right.
Right, whatever they might need. But yeah, like I said, the culinary tent will be great. Those will kick off about noon, 1 o'clock every day. Like tonight, Sushi Neko will be out there at 7 o'clock showing folks how to make some sushi all week long. It'll be great stuff.
That is among the things. Not only do you come out and immerse yourself in the artwork, whether it's the visual, whether it's the entertainment or the culinary, it can also be educational with the demonstrations. In fact, you have given many a demo out here.
I have. I've done many demos. For the first time in a number of years, I'm not doing it for no real good reason. I just was busy this time of year. I'm going on vacation soon, so I had to opt out. But yeah, it's great, and it's one of those things too. You can come down here and spend as much or as little money as you want. If you happen to be in the neighborhood and want to just check out the art and low on cash, swing by the culinary demonstration kitchen and get you a free sample. Or run over to the restaurant row and spend all you got. They'll be happy that you do. And it goes to some of it goes right to the vendors, but a lot of it goes to a good cause. All the vendors out here are supporting some cause from around the city, so that's another great thing about this event is getting the things that you want, enjoying being with the people, being in your community, and supporting things that really need it.
It's the opening day of the Festival of the Arts, the 2018 Festival of the Arts here at Bicentennial Park. We're right outside City Hall, where the opening ceremonies will start roughly at 11 a.m., or at least we'll kick it to the stage and pretend that they're starting at 11 a.m. We mentioned those culinary demonstrations. I believe your good friend, Chef John Bennett, on Saturday.
Yeah, he'll be there Saturday. He's going to lead them off on Saturday at noon. Chef Bennett, he was actually, I don't know if he was the only vendor, but if there was a class for those vendors, it didn't take long to call the roll. It was very small. He worked at the cellar, which is right over here in the Hightower building, which I guess is just south of the park. And he rolled out a refabricated popcorn cart and sold crepes for the very first arts festival. So he will be making his triumphant return from the first arts festival or festival of the arts to the present one. So it should be a lot of fun.
How is Chef Bennett these days?
Well, he's mostly retired. He doesn't like to say completely retired, just mostly. He does just enough to be able to say semi-retired, but he's had a little bit of health problems in the last year, but he's doing well enough to get out here and show what he's got.
I was just going to ask you, what is the history behind the Strawberries Newport? But I think Chef Bennett and his crepes and the popcorn machine has something to do with that, right?
Sort of. It sort of set the tone. Set the tone. Here's what you can do out here. And Strawberries Newport came along a little bit later. Okay. Chris Lauer, who we know from the Metro and Big Truck Tacos and a number of restaurants, Pizzeria Gusto, his family was involved. And there was a group, and they decided they had the Magic Pan, which was a crepe restaurant. And they came along with that to support the restaurant. The Strawberries Newport was to support that. But yeah, Bennett's, Chef Bennett, when he started with his crepes many, many years ago, I guess it sort of did, set the tone and set the stage, I guess, for Strawberries Newport, which I wish I could tell you off the top of my head how many years, but I'm going to say it's been since the 70s. So.
And it's a staple. When people talk about Festival of the Arts and food, there's like, oh, I got to get Strawberries Newport. Yeah. And certainly no slight to Chris Lauer for being behind that. Let's dive into some of the restaurants that are here and in Oklahoma City. What's the food scene like these days? When my friends come in from out of town, they're like, wow, you got good food in Oklahoma City. It's a good food town.
Yeah, we continue to work at breakneck speed. It's hard to continue to talk about it as up and coming, because it seems like it's been for a number of years now, and that is the case. But we just lost Old Germany out in Choctaw last week, which nobody was happy about that. But that's part of what happens when you're in going through these evolutionary phases, and it's the old out with the old, in with the new, and those tropes like that, they have meaning because there's some truth in them. And so we're seeing some older places, like Old Germany, for instance, a large restaurant, an older format restaurant. You're not seeing a lot of big new restaurants being built. Most of them are smaller, sleeker, operate quickly, fast casual service, that sort of thing. Like Gochi Go has been very, very popular in Midtown, and it's a walk-through line, very, very fast. But that doesn't mean full service is dead. So it's just moving at a slower pace than the quick service concepts are.
Seems like the German restaurants took quite a hit right there. Ingrid's, right, for sale?
Yeah, Ingrid's is for sale. Mr. Burris there that owns it has put the restaurant up for sale. There's not really any word on if there's a timetable, like if he doesn't get a buyer within a certain amount of time, he's going to shut. There's no talk of anything quite like that. He's ahead of this thing. He bought Ingrid's sort of he jumped on a good opportunity, and I think he understands, creating a new opportunity for somebody else. That's really viable, because Ingrid's is really, really successful. I mean, it's hard to go in there at a time when they don't have a pretty good crowd. So 2 locations, I have a hard time seeing that one going completely under. However, German restaurants, I was reading an article just a couple of weeks ago about the downturn in German restaurants across the country. So we'll see. Part of that is on, German cuisine and the German culture back home, deciding if they want to really push that, really celebrate German cuisine. Right now it's celebrating German beer and German cars and things like that. So we'll see.
I guess that's what I had in mind. It's like, well, German beer is all the rage right now. I was kind of surprised to me the German food scene might not be.
Right.
Fassler Hall among those, serving up some bratwurst here at the 2018 Festival of the Arts. It is opening day. It runs Tuesday through Sunday. Usually means rain at some point during the Festival of the Arts, but today you could not ask for better weather. Opening ceremonies here at 11 a.m. It looks like all the artists are in their artesian chairs, ready to talk about some art. What sort of art, we'll get back to food here in a second, what sort of art catches your eye when you come out here?
Just the original stuff. I'm always looking, it's just that, it's like you said, eye-catching. If there's, it's all great. I mean, this is a nationally renowned arts festival. This is not, just our neighbors, pulling stuff out of the trunk and setting up a tent, which is great too. Neighbors, I love all your stuff. It's awesome. But no, I mean, these people come from all over to be a part of this because it's a respected event. And so there's a very high level here. It's really outstanding. But what I look for is just stuff that I haven't seen. You know, something that maybe says something that maybe you can tell somebody had something to say, whether it's funny or serious or, you know, or mindless, you know, but it's authentic. You know, that's what I'm looking for.
Also, Mother's Day just a few weeks away,
Yes.
so if you're in the market for perhaps a gift for your mom, this might be an option. Let me ask you two other things about food trends. I was reading today in the USA Today about how restaurants are having to evolve, change their marketing and their business strategy for delivery.
Yes, delivery may well be sort of like what we in the media have faced with the internet, because delivery forces a change in the business model. That's the big issue. Now, some restaurants are perfectly set up for delivery. Sonic is more for drop-by service. They're set up perfectly for that. But places like Chipotle, or I met with the guys up at Nunu's Mediterranean, and they love it. It has been a huge boon to them, but their food is pretty well set up. They prepare as you walk through. Certain things they grill up real quick to order, but everything's done within a couple of minutes. So the way they're set up, it's perfect for delivery. Now, other places, obviously a place that wants you to come in, spend a couple of hours, drink a bottle of wine.
Part of the experience.
Yeah, it's part of the experience. Enjoy full service, people bringing you food, recommending food, talking to you about your wine and all that sort of stuff. People who rely on that part for their business model, that's trouble for them, because all that goes out the window with delivery.
And there's two different things to talk about here. One is delivery that the restaurant provides, or to-go service.
Yes.
But then there's also the apps, Postmates and things like that. And that's a different ballgame, because then you start from a business side of things talking about your margin.
Exactly, because those services want to cut. Now those services, their selling point is, we're gonna increase your volume by a certain percentage. But whatever percentage they tell you they're going to increase your volume by, they want that percentage back for their services. Now, obviously, the proof is in the pudding. You sign up and you see if it works for you. And for some places it does, in some places it doesn't. The bottom line is, it's not going to work for everyone, which means it's only going to work for certain restaurants. So there you're dividing the industry. Those that are benefiting by delivery and those that are not. And so whenever you have a division like that, war is soon to follow. So what that means is there'll have to be a period of adjustment, really. And because there will be no restaurant war over this, because ultimately everyone will understand, sort of like as we've all learned using Amazon.com and things like that, that it is a part of life that is not going away. So the early adopters will survive and thrive, and those that don't will have to find a different way to maintain their business without delivery, because there will be some. That's the thing. It's not the death of fine dining or anything like that, but it could certainly damage the industry. It could pare it down, that sort of thing. As long as there's demand, though, for people, as long as there's demand for a nice restaurant to sit down, eat off a tablecloth, and have a beautiful experience, then those kind of places will exist.
Is this similar to the food truck scene in a way, in that the food trucks were all the rage for a while, and that kind of disrupted? Restaurants were like, no, I don't want you to park right outside my restaurant with your food truck. I want you to come into my restaurant. And I guess my question to you is, how is the food truck scene these days?
You know, the food truck scene has evolved. And I was just talking to somebody about this. I'm sure you remember the first food truck package that we did. And we brought all the food trucks up to the old office and took a picture from up high. I think one of those food trucks is still in existence. I
actually forgot about that.
Yeah, Big Truck Tacos. That was, I believe, 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. And Big Truck is the only one left, and they found really their business model that they intended was wrong. Chris Lauer told me that they thought that the truck would drive the business from the beginning, but he said it was the opposite. Their headquarters drove the business, and the truck was successful in carrying the brand out and booking for private events and things like that. But it wasn't just running around town with people following it like an ice cream truck. And so what you've seen now is the trucks that are really strong, distinctive concepts, and they're out there. Saucy Sicilian does a great job. Flying Pig, they're very, very successful. They carry on, and those guys are not interested in opening a restaurant, bricks and mortar. On the other side, you've seen some, like Off the Hook, who started out with a really nice truck, really successful, but ultimately saw that the business model would not carry them where they wanted, so they end up in a bricks and mortar restaurant.
Interesting stuff. Dave Cathey dropping the knowledge. He is plugged in on the culinary scene all sorts, fast casual and the fine dining here in Oklahoma City. Sam is killing it behind us.
Yes, he's doing a great job. I saw Mike Cathey walking by, and he looked like he was in wonder over this. No, he actually looked like he had somewhere to go. But I assume we'll see him out here playing at some point. You're the music guy here. What do you know? Do we have anybody good playing music this year? Tell me.
Greg Singleton of the High Def Howlers will be playing this week.
Is that a setup or what? That will be the music highlight of the week, obviously.
Our colleague Greg Singleton, catch him out. I'm actually not sure which day he and the guys are performing.
It's tonight.
It is tonight. Okay, I'm being told. Tim Money is saying, hey, it's tonight. I believe there's a couple stages on either side of the Civic Center Music Hall, north and south side of that. So be sure to catch the High Def Howlers. Always a fan favorite.
Oh my gosh, yes, you've got to catch the High Def Howlers. Right after the culinary demonstration, head over. Hopefully, Greg will be playing one of his cigar box guitars at some point during the show. I can't believe he's not out here selling cigar box cigars. I mean, this is the place to do it. They're artisanal, aren't they?
It's actually a brilliant idea.
Greg, are you listening? Bring your guitars. Let's go.
One thing to kind of wrap up our conversation on food trucks and the evolution of the food industry and margins is things like this and food trucks all kind of evolved from a real margin maker for restaurants, as I understand it, and that is the catering business.
Yeah, that's actually true. Catering has always sort of been the secret weapon for a restaurant. It's just a better business plan, and so. Yeah, as people had more success with catering, the idea was how can we evolve this idea? And so then, yeah, trucks and trailers and things like that became the idea. Then they became the norm, and now, like I said, it's almost a transitional tool. Unless you're in somewhere like LA, where the weather's great year-round and you really doesn't matter. But yeah, and like I said, there are some here in town that have found a full-time business model with their truck. And others that we'll have a story here in a few weeks about Holy Rollers, who started with a truck, and now they have this wonderful little place. And the owners there told me that was always the plan, was to start with a truck, use it as a marketing tool, get the brand known, and then open the place. And they continue to use that truck. They still put it out for private events. So it becomes like a part of an overall concept. And that's what you're seeing more and more in the truck trend.
We'll wrap it up right there. Dave Cathey, food coverage as you can find every Wednesday in the Oklahoman and other days as well. Additionally, around-the-clock coverage every day on newsok.com, on your blog, on your Twitter feed, and I'll give you the final word here as we'll wrap it up. Opening ceremonies to come later today here at the Festival of the Arts. But what are some of the stories that you are working on that we will find in upcoming editions of the Oklahoman?
Yes, well, I just gave them all away. Great. Now, we've got Holy Rollers coming up.
Some donuts?
Yes, we got some donuts. Tomorrow we'll have a story on Revolucion, the taqueria, and, well, sort of evolving into a Mexican cafe over on 6th and Classen.
Rachel Cope killing it these days.
She's doing a great job. We always have our coverage of the Homeless Alliance. The guys from Nonesuch and Buttermilk were out there recently. Had a great time with them. And then, as always, there'll be a few surprises.
That Turning the Table on Hunger series that you're involved with, Tim Money, Greg Singleton, the guys who go out there and shoot that is such a worthy cause.
Oh, yeah, it's great. The Homeless Alliance has done just unbelievable things. Everyone in the city really ought to be at least aware or educated on the work that they're doing down there. And then, in doing that, seeing what you can contribute, whether it's money or time or effort or just ideas, or clothes. I mean, anything in your house, they can use it. So, yeah, it's a really great cause.
All right, good stuff. So look for that in upcoming editions of the Oklahoman. Lots of videos and stories can be found on newsok.com.